Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So you want to get to the point that you're able to apply this knowledge, to use it to your power as a hairstylist, to grow, to be within that top 2% of hairstylists. Now, if you're in training and you're an assistant, or maybe you're in the 2 to 5 years, maybe you're 15 years in and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? That top 2%. I'm talking about that top 2% within the industry of earners. The majority of the hairstylists in the world make under poverty level earnings. That is shameful. Shameful, shameful. Hi, I'm Jennifer Janish, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions that stretch far beyond just curly hair. Hey there, it's me, Jennifer, from the Curly Girls Obsessions, Jennifer behind the chair, Adored Salon, Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions, and Jennifer the Educator. Jennifer, today we are going to talk about Jennifer, the salon owner, am I just stumbling over my words, or is it Monday? It's Monday and I'm fucking stumbling over my words. So let me get to it. If you watched the last podcast, I kind of look the same. That's because I'm batch recording on a Monday. So today we're going to talk about how we train assistants at Adored Salon. Why do I think this is important? It's because I think I trained some really fucking amazing hairstylists out of my assistant program. I've had to do it multiple times, and honestly, it's not even like I had to do it or have to do it. I enjoy this part of my job. I enjoy this part of my career, the stage it's in, the opportunities that I get to be able to do this. For starters, when you're training assistants, I know you see on social media a lot like, oh, your assistants, you need to be training them because they only last every 18 months. And most stylists leave salons every 18 months. Okay, I'm going to take pride in the fact that most of my stylists at Adored Salon have stayed for at least 5 years. Jackie, who started with me at the beginning of Adored Salon 13 years ago, she is still here. She is like my own mentor, my right hand, and one of my really amazing friends. And we do work really good together. And then after that comes the rest of the team. So the thing with training assistants is, one, you've really got to build up a lot of trust, right? Because as hairstylists, as artists, as creators, we do tend to think that we are the best at what we create and nobody can create like we create, right? Wrong. Everybody can do it. They just need to be taught how. And if you want to own a successful salon that is like a commission-based salon, you have got to put down the guard. You've got to break down the wall, and you've got to open up the trust bank, and you've got to fill someone up with it, because that's the only way that you're going to create the culture that you want within the salon. Meaning that if you want to specialize in something, or you currently do specialize in something, and that's what you want your salon to be known for, in order for it to grow, you've got to train others on how to do this. At Adored Salon, we are curly hair specialists and hair extension artists, namingly curly hair extensions because I own my own line of curly hair extensions. Now, that line of extensions has two other textures: subtle body, just a minimal amount of body, Then we have beach wave, between subtle body and naturally curly. And then we have naturally curly. Naturally curly being the curliest, right? Which is what people really do seek us out for. We do have clients that fly across the US that come in and get their hair extensions done here. We have clients that charter private jets. Like, I mean, it's crazy. If you would have told me this when I was 15 years old, going to hair school in high school, I would have laughed at you. Namely because my hair salon or my hair school teacher was like, you'll be lucky if you make $250 a week. You do this because you love it. One, I do love doing hair, but two, $250 a week, that's not going to cut it. And it wasn't even going to cut it 35 years ago. She was out of her mind. Probably one of the greatest things she could have told me, because it definitely pushed me far and hard, right? Like, yes, there is this anti-hustle culture that we're all going to see on social media. We're going to see it online. But the bottom line is that if you want to build anything worthwhile, it's going to take heart and hustle. Nothing comes for free, and nothing comes to slackers. So when it comes to my training program, I am very upfront with that I train my team to become within the top 2 of the hair industry. I do not train hairstylists to work at Adored Salon that are slackers or that just want average, because that's not my MO. I want more, and I want you to want more. Sometimes I feel like I can will stylists to want more too, because I just don't believe that doing anything half-assed is worthwhile. So when they come into the training, and like I said in the last podcast about the vibe, like if you are a stylist searching out a salon, you want to understand the vibe within the salon. What's the most important part to me is that, are you going to fit in? Because if you fit in, you will definitely become within that top 2% tier of the hair industry, right? So how do I make sure that an assistant will fit in here at Adored Salon? First, after they have applied for the job, I tell them that I want them to send me a short video of who they are and why they think that they're a perfect fit. A video. They got to talk face to camera, talk to me and tell me why. Why is this a good tactic? Because number one, 98% of people will not do it. And those are the people that I want to weed out. I do not want to be so desperate that I need to make that person send me that video, or that I need to forego the video in order to get a team player. I just will do without, right? So first things first, I want you to send me a video and tell me who you are and why you think you fit in and how you're going to be a rock star. They get past that, right? And then I have a phone call with them, usually FaceTime, because I want to see their mannerisms. Are they nervous talking to me? Odds are they probably are, because usually they're a lot younger than me. But some are not at all. And oh my God, I just want to eat that up, right? Like, I'm so in love with a confident person. It makes me just, I don't know. Confidence just shows up in a different way, and it makes you look more attractive, right? So I love confidence. So on that phone call, that's like what I'm looking for. What's their confidence level? Because I am going to kind of put them through a ringer as far as their training program goes, not on purpose and not to be mean, but if you can't handle the hardness of the training program, you can't handle the hardness of the clients that you're about to get. And that's not because Adored Salon only gets hard clients. That's because you're dealing with people of the public who all have a different opinion and different thought process on how you're going to get their hair done and what makes their hair look good, right? Like, you got to be ready for it. So as your mentor, I'm going to work hard to make sure you are ready for it. So they come in and I want them to shadow the current assistant for a couple hours, right? Because I'm going to get to really know who that personality is now. I'm going to get to know that if the confidence that I saw in the video or on the phone call is actually real, or if they have no personality whatsoever and they can't talk. And in this industry, you got to know how to talk. You really got to know how to talk, and you got to know how to carry yourself. So that is the purpose of the shadow day. And it's really fun when they come in and they do this, because I will, not giving away all my secrets here, but I will tell you that when they come in for a shadow day, I tell the current assistant, okay, you've been through this. You know that what I want to know is what you think of them. I want you to ask them a lot of questions. I want you to treat them like your girlfriend, because usually the assistants are younger and they're usually the person's age too that's coming in, right? They're going to talk more freely together. I want the receptionist to kind of grill them and ask them questions in a way that they don't even realize that they're being grilled, to a sense, right? Like they're just having normal conversation. But when you're in an area for an extended period of time and it's a nice and inviting atmosphere, usually your guard goes down, right? So we're going to find out the stuff we need to find out. And if you make it through the shadow day, then you come in and you start working. Now, this is even more so, right? Because nothing makes me more crazy than the person who made it through the phone, the video that they had to send, the phone interview, the shadow day, like amazing, like a rock star. And then they come in and all of a sudden I see them taking extended lunches, chatting it up. Now, while I want everybody to be friends, right? We're also here to work, and the salon is not made to waste money. So yes, do we eat lunch? We totally eat lunch and dinner, and there is time for that. But I don't want to see you slacking. Remember what I said, the top 2%, they're not slackers, they're hustlers. They are in it. So if someone starts to sit around, I'm going to immediately say, you must be bored. What do you need me to tell you to do? And maybe that's where things come in with these commission salons, where people are like, they don't want you breathing down your neck, this, that, the other. If you learn as an assistant how to work on the front end, you are not going to be a slacker on the back end as a hairstylist that's going to make a salon owner breathe down your neck, right? Because if you have a strong foundation for learning about what it takes to get by in this business and actually make it, you are never going to be that person that's just a slacker, right? You just won't. So that's the second part, is when you're working as an actual assistant, how are you doing the tasks at hand? Are you slow? Are you a slacker? Are you falling asleep on the job? Or are you doing everything and anything under the sun just to get by until your day is done? Or are you taking it all in? Are you watching? Are you learning? Because you got to remember this. Anything you steal with these two eyes that goes on the salon floor, nobody can ever take that away from you, and it's yours. But you need to earn it. And hello, if you don't apply that knowledge, you're going to lose it. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So you want to get to the point that you're able to apply this knowledge, to use it to your power as a hairstylist, to grow, to be within that top 2% of hairstylists. Now, if you're in training and you're an assistant, or maybe you're in the 2 to 5 years, maybe you're 15 years in and you're like, what the hell are you talking about, that top 2%? I'm talking about that top 2% within the industry of earners. The majority of the hairstylists in the world make under poverty level earnings. That is shameful. Shameful. And I don't want want to hear this bullshit like, oh, well, it's because they live in a small town or this or that. You heard me just say that people will fly to us from out of state to get their hair done here. We have some even out of the country that fly into Adored for their curly haircuts or their hair extensions. It's actually crazy. Even education, dude, I had someone come from Australia for a one-on-one day with me to learn everything that I have to share. That is telling. That is telling. So it does not matter where you live or where you're from or what your background is. You can be the stylist within the top 2%, no matter your life circumstances. You just got to put in the work to get there. And that's what I'm building at Adored, is that. So back to applied knowledge to get to be that top 2%, right? So as the assistant, you are seeing all these scenarios go on, right? And you can either soak it in or you can push it away. And again, your vibe is going to tell me everything under the sun. And as the assistant, you graduate hair school, you are like, I am so hungry for more. I want to soak up everything you can give me, Jennifer. We're going to get to the stage of this book that I created. And I really think that this book, actually, I'm pretty freaking proud of myself for it. Because I'll never forget when one stylist was going to start here, she's like, I want to go through like a mentoring program. And this was like 7 years ago, right? This was before, like, the mentoring programs were out there, but they weren't really heavy. And honestly, at Adored, prior to this, was just kind of like, you watch and learn, and either you will swim or you will sink, right? That now in today's mindset that I have probably wasn't the best. It really probably wasn't, because it left a lot of room for error, right? And just thinking that people are going to be able to read your mind and replicate what you do because they've watched you is kind of like stupid and arrogant. It just is. So I was doing a client's hair and I was telling her, like, I'm actually nervous because I have this new stylist that's going to start. I really want her here, but she wants a full-on mentorship. And I'm not really quite sure how to go about it. Like, I need to get something in writing, and my brain doesn't work that way because I'm used to working the creative end. She was like, oh, that's simple. She's like, I train nurses at Rush Hospital. She's like, and I create a book of every task that they're going to do while they are a nurse. And in the book, it has to be documented when they have done that task, how well they did that task, and someone has to sign off on it. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. Great. Now I have framework, and I'm going to create this book. It's going to go through every service that Adored Salon performs, and it's going to have a model sign-up sheet where the person who is agreeing to be the model for this mentorship signs off on the fact that they know that they are a model and that the stylist is going through a mentorship program. We collect the information of the client. The stylist that is being mentored takes notes on the consultation and what the client wants, and then discusses it with a senior stylist, and then together they formulate the color. The senior stylist checks the cut, all the things, right? There's all these boxes to check off. And then to top it off, what's the final part is content. Content. How are you going to grow your clientele as a baby hairstylist? You need social proof that you are capable of doing the job. You need that content in order to prove to other people that you are worth it to come in as their model and get the service done. So you have to show your work before and after. You have to write out your caption. You have to, all the things that would be involved in a social media post go on the third and final page. And the stylist that is helping the mentored stylist signs off on everything along the way. Perfect. I thought that that was great and that I knocked it out of the park. Then I started diving deeper into it, and I was like, actually, there is so much more than just performing the service. If I want Adored Salon to feel like the bar in Boston, Cheers, where everybody knows your name, I also have to go through the protocol of the entrance of the client, the greeting of the client, the exit of the client, and everything in between, the conversation. And that's not because I'm a control freak. That's because I want this stylist to be as successful as I have been over the years throughout my career. And it's also kind of giving them the fast track to getting to where I am today with teaching them, right? So prior to starting this book, we come in on a Monday and we role play. We role play the entrance, just like I said, right? The greeting of the client. What's key? Eye contact. You want someone to trust you? It's full on eye contact. And in that handshake, don't shake their hand like a wimp. Have somewhat of a firm grip. Don't break their hand. But you're also showing them that you mean business and you are confident within the service that you are about to start, because you are also confident in your conversation, which in today's world is huge, huge, huge. People always got their faces in their phone. Shit, they talk to AI more than they talk to their family. So you need to start out this conversation really well and really strong right from the get-go. And sometimes you have to be taught how to do that. I'm totally willing to do that for our assistants. So you come in, we start with the greeting, we start with the handshake, the eye contact. I record it. I record it, one, so that they can see how well they do, and I can see it too. The other part is, this is funny because, well, it's funny but not funny, right? Because this is scary. So if you're the salon owner listening to this and you're thinking about implementing it, you also have to be conscious of the fact that this new mentee or stylist that's being mentored is going to be nervous, right? And you kind of have to break the ice. When we did this a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that she was sweating, right? And I'm like, listen, this might be really scary, but by this point, you've already known me for several months. You know who I am. I'm a really easygoing person. Don't sweat this. This is the easy part. It's me. Let's do this and do this with confidence. So when it's not me, it's going to feel just as easy. And then I went through all the products that we use and our regimen for using them, right? Like, this gel is going to work for kinky hair. This gel is going to work for someone who likes very soft, touchable curls. Doesn't matter what the longevity is. This gel, this is going to be used for longevity, and it's going to help to block humidity. If you're doing a blowout with curls, this is the blowout serum we use because it's a thermal protectant and a UV protectant. It's got X, Y, and Z in it to make your hair feel like silk. And then this is the spray that we spray in before we start with the hot tools, because it also has a thermal protectant, but it has hold. So it's going to hold the curls like a spiraled pipe cleaner versus a spiraled ribbon, then in turn giving your client longevity, the hair a strong foundation, so that when you brush through it, it's going to still look amazing. And FYI, if you get these tasks in order and you totally understand it, you are going to look like a rock star in the end, because your style is going to be amazing. You need the retail products in order to sell it in that way, right? So that was huge. And then the other part that I asked the assistants is like, what are you worried about? Usually they're going to say everything. Or they're going to lie and they're going to say that they're comfortable doing everything, right? But then I'm going to pry even far deeper. What is it that you feel confident doing, and what is it that you hate to do? Odds are whatever it is that they hate to do is the part that they need help with. Usually, I have found that assistants coming out of hair school need help cutting. So that takes another Monday of my time, sometimes two, and we go through all the hair cutting. This also comes out in the process of the mentoring in that book, because they have to do haircuts. They have to do haircuts on the client, and then the senior stylist is going to check that haircut. If there's chronically things that are wrong or that need a little bit of help, we're going to know that so that I can teach to it and train it. If I didn't take these extra time with these assistants or baby stylists or mentees, whatever you want to call it, I would not be producing the product that I could stand by in my salon. That is huge, 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 because I told you in the previous episode, like, our website works for us. People see the work on our website and our social media, and they're like, I just want to come in there. I don't care who I get. I just want to get what they're giving. That means that everybody in this stylist has to deliver at that level. And the only way that that is going to happen is through training. It is through training. And new stylist, you need that training. And sometimes too, you might even be like 15 years out or 10 years out in your career listening to this and being like, damn, I wish I could get some of that training. Well, guess what? We're open to doing that too, because sometimes we all need education, right? To further our career. I constantly am taking classes to further my career because I know that I don't know it all. And that brings me to my final point with the new stylist, baby stylist, assistant, the things, right? Is that they have to also know that I'm also going to invest in their education as a salon owner. Super important to me, and for all the reasons that I just discussed. And it took me, let me think about this. So it took about 18 years into my career before anybody invested in my education as a salon owner. And when that salon owner did that for me, it 10x'd my ability to produce for them, because one, I learned a new skill that was so valuable, but two, I also wanted to give back for what they gave me. And that's what this business is all about. Right? You're investing in a new team member to do the things that your salon does and to give back to you for helping them grow, right? And at the end of the day, as the salon owner, you've got to be willing to risk the fact that you could potentially be training your competition in the future. That is a hard pill to swallow, because there is a lot of sacrifice that goes into owning a salon. The risk of the space, the lease, you invest in the equipment, the products used, all the risk does fall on you as the salon owner at the end of the day. But hopefully you've created an environment that makes them want to stay. And sometimes too, even after they leave, because they think they're going to get it better, they may look back on that environment and wish they had it back. It just goes that way, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose with some of those things. But even so, over the course of owning this salon, I've rebuilt it twice, I would say. And when you say rebuild, multiple times, COVID did quite a number on the industry as a whole. And then, like I said, you build up that confident stylist. Sometimes you are training your competition for the future. But at the end of the day, I know that what I deliver to a new stylist is valued at what the top 2% tier of hairstylists do. I can sleep well at night because one, I've given back and I've built a strong business in the end. And that's all I can say. So those are my tips for building an amazing assistant that'll turn into the top 2% hairstylist in your hair salon. And also be probably a really good friend in the end because you respect each other because you both have gone through it together. So if you don't follow me on social media, follow me at Jennifer_Johnson_Janish, Adored Salon, all one word, or Adored_signature_hand-tied_hair for the extension line. And you can see all the things. So I hope you have an awesome week. I hope this podcast helped you. If you don't subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you know a friend who needs to hear it, send it. I'll see you next time.